Hello everyone, igama lam ndinguSinothando Wakwamkhize, and if you are new to this channel, welcome, and to the returning subscribers, the bloomers, welcome back you guys. So if you want to be part of the squad, if you want to be a bloomer, it's very easy, just hit that subscribe button and you will be part of the fam bam. And to get notifications for every time that I drop a video, hit that notification bell. Now that we've got that part out of the way, in today's video, as you can tell from the title below, I will be talking about my mental health journey. So I think I'll just start in high school, right? So in high school, mental health wasn't really a thing for me. Okay, at least it wasn't really a thing for me. It wasn't even something that I thought about. It wasn't something that I thought affected me. In high school, bruh, in my head, all was well. Like, I was like, yeah, good rights, good grand. I think, and then started becoming a thing when I went to university, right? So when I got to university, in first year, y'all know how it be, especially from like a person who went from being an overachiever in high school, and then university was just like showing me flames. So that was like the first thing, but it didn't necessarily didn't tip me over the edge. Yeah, let's just say that it was just there, like, oh flip. And a part of me kind of expected it, right? Because when you leave high school, people tell you about, okay, like, bro, you're about to get into university and it's not like high school. So I'm like, okay, yeah, sharp. So I kind of expected it, but I think that as the year continued, what I realized was that in high school, right, when it comes to your identity, when it comes to your reason for living and such, it was as simple as all I have to do is obey my parents. And if I obey my parents, I'm not in trouble at home, I do well at school, then all is well. Right? I think that's what it was for me. And then you get to university, and then your identity is no longer made up, okanye is no longer anchored in being home. Okanye is no longer anchored around your parents. I hope that makes sense. Your identity is no longer that. So now there was questions of whomst am I? What do I want? Where do I want to be? And it's like, yo, bruh, am I even doing the right degree? Do I even want to be here? So such things started creeping in. But it was still it was like, okay, okay, let's just keep it pushing, keep it moving. And then, whoa, towards the end of first year, that's when it was like really, really, really bad. Not only was it bad academically, it was also bad like socially. My social life at university, it was like just terrible. So at that point in my head, it just felt like I was failing at life, right? Because the other thing is that when you're a student, right, all that you are is a student. Everything else is provided for you. You've got a place to live, you've got food to eat, and then all they are telling you is, okay, study and do well at school, and you're not passing. And it's like, yo, girl, the one thing right now in your life that you're supposed to get right, you are getting wrong. So it just made me feel like I am failing in life. And then I got into this vicious cycle. Yokuba, I would, for example, not do what I set out to do, like not do like your to-do list, not finish what you wanted to do on that day or whatever, or maybe you procrastinate and you don't do what you're supposed to do, and then I would then feel guilty for that. I would feel guilty because I beat myself up so much, man. You're ruining your own life. What the hell, bruh? What the hell, Sino? And then the guilt, guys, I don't know, the guilt was so hectic to the point where you don't want to face your guilt. You don't want to face your guilt. You don't want to wake up and feel the feeling of guilt, of disappointing your own self, and of shame. And then you just go back to sleep. So I got into that cycle where I would have periods of time where I don't get out of bed, basically. I'm in my room, I shut my blinds. They blinds or blinders? Because I didn't want the light to come in and I didn't want to wake up. And it was so weird because I'd wake up from a 12-hour sleep, look around a little, all the feelings flood back, then I'd be like, actually, no, let me go back to sleep. And I'd go back to sleep. It was so bad, guys, because when I would go through these sleeping periods, I would not eat, I would not bath, I would not leave my room. I'd just be in that weird state for like a couple of days. And then like it also just felt like I had this dark cloud over me. I don't know how to explain that state of mind except that it was just dark. It was just dark. And there were no positive feelings at all. I was just always feeling anxious, super anxious, feeling guilt, feeling shame, and to the point where like I could physically feel the hurt in my chest, in my heart. You know when you physically feel the hurt? It was like that. And I was like, I am not about to face this. I will go back to sleep. And that resulted in missing lectures, missing tutorials, missing tests. And the thing is, with each day that I remained in bed, the deeper the feelings of shame would go, the deeper the feelings of failure would go, the deeper the guilt would go, because now I'm adding on to the things that I'm failing in. I hope that makes sense. And it feels like I'm digging an even deeper pit for myself, because the more the days went by, the harder it was to get out of bed, the harder it was to talk myself out of that. So, hey guys, like, I never went to a professional, like to be like evaluated and such, but I do think that that was some sort of a depression, because it lasted for a couple of weeks, like weeks upon weeks where I was in that state. Yeah, and then things started to turn around for me when I just, for some reason, I spoke to my brother, my younger brother, Utaban, and I told him exactly what was going on. Well, maybe not exactly. I just told him that I don't feel like waking up in the morning anymore. I have this heavy, heavy feeling in my heart. I do not eat. I do not go out. And I don't remember exactly how we got there, my brother and I, on WhatsApp, because it's not like we talk deep stuff or whatever. We don't. So I don't know how it got to a point where I actually told him that. I don't remember. But I told him that. And that was the major turning point for me, because when he told my mom, and then my mom was like, come back home, don't worry, we'll figure this out, you'll see a professional and it's okay, just come back home. And then that's when, for some reason, it was like izibani were turned on, you know, like the lights were turned back on. And all of a sudden, I had a bit of hope, because the hope was gone. All of a sudden, I had some hope. And I was like, oh, flip. And all of a sudden, I remembered that, man, there are still good things in my life. It's so weird how, when you're in that state, you really believe that there's nothing good in your life. I don't know. Like, omnye umntu mhlawumbi xa ekujongile, right, they could count the number of things that are going really well in your life, but then when self you don't see that. You see all the things that are going bad, and you see all the things that you're failing at, and you see, you know, all the things that aren't okay. And so that's when, like, that is when the lights came back on, because then I felt like, okay, I've got support. And but then I decided not to go home. I decided to give school one last chance. I remember, guys, it was probably 3 weeks before exams, and I had missed like a good like a good month of school. I'd missed a good month of school, but I was like, you know what? I will give school a chance, one last chance. And it was just knowing that I do have a place to go to. I don't know, it was just knowing that even if Indiazama, right, and if I don't make it and I fail, even having tried, I have, my tribe, my family, and they support me 100%, and we'll find a way out of this. It was that kind of fueled me, and I was like, okay, I'm giving this one last chance, and I did that. I gave school one last chance, and I didn't do so bad, guys. And Yazi, we hear this a lot, that when you're going through stuff, talk about it, teta nomtu. And a lot of the times you ask yourself, Ubana, how will talking to someone help me solve my problems at all? Will talking to someone, take away yonke lento endinayo? But standing here today, I'm literally saying the exact same thing to everyone else out there. Reach out. I know that like the instinct, Kanye, your instinct tells you to withdraw, because you really feel like you're a burden to people. Weird things that the head does. You feel like you're a burden. Well, I felt like that. I felt like I was a burden. I felt like ndizozisela abantu my problems. So I just decided to just, withdraw. And I would say that do try to reach out. Yes, to reach out and to talk, because that really did turn my journey around. And although at that time I didn't see a professional, I'm thinking of, I would like to see a professional, because in as much as I am not in that hole, in that dark place I was at that time, there are still many things about what happened then that I need to process and I need to understand, in order for me to really move on from that. So anyways, guys, that was just like my short story, my short testimony when it comes to this mental health that we are trying so hard to bring awareness to. Yes, and that brings me to the end of my video. Guys, do not forget to subscribe if you are not yet a Baluma. And I will see you guys next Thursday. Nibe right, Betman. Why am I awkward all of a sudden? Okay. You're doing well, Sino. Hello, everyone. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone.